Yeah, I like it when streamers are nice. I feel like, we made the right guy rich and famous. He's still cool to people. I like to see that.
Yeah. The interactions like that between streamers and stream snipers are sometimes some of the best content. Back in the day in PUBG, when Shroud was super into that, he would have massive PUBG streams, and there was this stream sniper who became famous and got his own channel just from how funny his stream snipes were. God, I wish I could remember his name. He wouldn't speak. He would just make like he would say the same thing over and over, like his name. I can't remember what it was, but he sounded silly, and he would just be like Pop Tart, like that's all he would do. Like, it wasn't Pop Tart, but it was something like that, and they were hilarious. Like Shroud would put him in the back of the car, and Shroud's like, "Hang on back there," and just jump the car off a cliff and kill them both or something like that. Like they had so many fun interactions. That and Sea of Thieves interactions are golden. Like half of the entertainment value, 80% of the entertainment value of a Sea of Thieves stream is derived from the people that you're playing against. And
You can't stream that game anymore.
Why
It
not?
sucks. I forget the specifics of it, but essentially it's very easy to figure out the server and DDoS it. So if you're Summit, I'm trying not to say Peanut, but if you're Peanut, like anybody with an audience, they'll DDoS your server and your game session's over.
It sucks.
How does that work? It's a public server.
I don't know the specifics of how it works, but I did watch it happen like 2 weeks ago.
You sure they weren't playing in a private game?
I don't know how they figure out.
That's possible. It's just that's just.
I don't know how they figured out like how to get in, which server to DDoS, but they did. Again, I don't want to talk about Peanut, but here we are. Peanut's friend knew all about these mechanics, and he's like, "We're going to get DDoS. We're not going to be able to finish this game. That's how this is going to go." And like, as soon as they got out of the tutorial, that's exactly how it went down. People immediately figured out what server he was on and ruined it.
One thing I could imagine is like if you interact with other players and you see that other player's name, perhaps you could look up that player's profile, find what game he's in. But I didn't know you could just DDoS a public like a server like that on that game. That's a big game.
I think it's just
before that was the case. Like stowing away on somebody else's pirate ship and hiding on their ship while they do literally hours worth of work going from island to they're doing this big story campaign event where you stop at 8 different islands, and on each one you do some Lara Croft Tomb Raider shit. You defeat a skeleton captain, you take his emerald or ruby out of his head, and you're just piling gold up. And you could, at the end of this thing, you're gonna get a mega chest by doing this chain of quests, and Summit to sleep on that boat the whole time, hearing all their plotting. And he's just sitting there like smoking weed, like talking to the chat.
How does he make that part entertaining? Like he's hiding on a boat.
Oh, it's so scary because like you're listening to them, and he's like Hitman from the Hitman game, like walking in the shadows and like hiding behind poles and stuff. And you're listening to their voice chat, and so he's having fun with that. But the fact that he's there while they pile all that stuff up, the first is 2 hours of build up as you watch the pile of treasure that they're getting like build. And then as soon as he sees the mega chest, he springs this trap where his buddies come over the horizon or around the rock. They've been hiding behind a rock in the ocean in their pirate ship. And he's like, now. And like they come out of hiding with their ship, start bombarding the ship. He comes out, lights a mega bomb and throws it in the bottom of their boat, and jumps off with the like magic mega chest and swims away with it, or he paddles away with it in their rowboat while their ship immediately sinks to the bottom, and the stragglers are being just destroyed by his buddies. And you can hear them, they're screaming, they're complaining, no, not our mega chest, not our Athena.
I'd be so upset.
And then he'll do this shit where he'll take it and he'll hide it. You can bury things like a pirate. And so you have to remember where you put it. Like there's no way to find it again. It's memory. And so he'll go to the island where you cash in the mega chest. He'll bury it there. And then he'll wait for the people he wronged to show up. And he'll be like, yeah, you want your mega chest back, don't you? And depending on their attitude, he may or may not give them their mega chest back.
How often is he giving it back? For real?
It depends on their attitude. If they're chill about it, but if they start saying like the N-word to mess up his stream or like play copyrighted music through their mic, he's like, kill him. And then they're so much better at the PvP that it's not even like a fight. Like he's doing these like cancel reloads where he's he's killing you in just a couple seconds. Just bang, 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 boom, and you're dead. And they slaughter them all, sell the mega chest, laugh at them, and go to find a new server.
Summit has become one of my favorite streamers. And this is a thing I've seen him do twice now. Like he'll be playing with a bunch of other streamers in these like fun group games, Halo, or a game you haven't heard of where they like neighborhood brawls. And the other team talks smack after they beat Summit. Like, hey, pussy, you like that? You like that? Did you like that time I killed you in the yard or whatever? No smiles, no jokes. He says this: don't change the teams. That's the last game you'll ever win, motherfucker. And I'm like, I got like tears. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Someone's bringing the fucking heat. I'm ready for it. And he does. Then he fucking backs up what he said. He takes all his like CSGO professional aim, grabs the sniper, starts directing his team, turning them into super soldiers. I'm a Summit fanboy. I'm here for it.
Oh.
He just, don't change the teams. Don't. That's the last game you'll ever win. I'm like, oh, Summit, lock the fuck in. Summit has this magic vase that he breathes into, I think, and it turns him into Captain America.
I didn't know he was a professional gamer.
Yeah, that's his background.
Oh,
he was a Counter-Strike player, and the Counter-Strike is like the highest level of shooters. Like they're very good at aiming.
That's
and
where
it
Shroud started too.
Shroud too, yeah. It seems like they translate to other games better than like a COD Pro.
Sure.
And when Summit locks in like that, I'm a fanboy.
I love it. His DayZ streams are really good. I like watching him survive in the zombie apocalypse. He'll get a bunch of boys together. His gameplay looks nothing like mine. I'm always like that worst part of that Viggo Mortensen movie, The Road, where you're just dirty and coughing. You're like, oh, you literally catch like the flu and you're like coughing. You can't make a fire to get better. You've got one can of food, but it's frozen because we're in tundra and you can't eat frozen food. You can't even open the can without a can opener. But then if you did open it, you got to melt it to make a fire. But I don't know how to make a fucking fire. And if I did know how to make a fire and I made it in this house, it makes smoke come out of the chimney. And every cannibal within 2 kilometers is going to gravitate to me and beat me to death and take my shit because they're better than me. When Summit plays, they've got like sniper rifles and thermal optics and stuff. And they've got like a doom squad of Twitch streamers that just, you're either our friend or you're either our bitch or our food. And they're just going everywhere collecting bitches and food. It's a totally different game when they play.
No. Yeah, some of these guys are so good.
Summit's one of the best streamers ever. I like his personality. He's so fucking chill. And you can tell sometimes when he's having like a rough go of it, like he gets a little edgy and he's like, he starts to put the band hammer down. I'm here for that too. I really like Summit. I've watched so much of those Sea of Thieves and so much of those DayZ streams. Those are my favorite games for sure to watch him play. Although I've watched him play Tarkov. He has a hard time at Tarkov. Not that he's not.
I'm sure he clicks on heads, but there's more
to it. And that you get bullshitted a lot. You know,
Yeah.
you get bullshitted so much that like sometimes the gunfight just doesn't even make sense. You're like, I shot him twice in the head. He just turned on me. It's a rough game. Yeah. He's probably the streamer I've watched the most of. Him and what's his name? Fucking Italian stallion that plays Tarkov.
Landmark, maybe?
Landmark, yeah.
Yeah. And Pastilli. Watch him too.
I didn't watch as much Pastilli. I think because of his like sleep, he's on the other side of the planet. Like when I would be watching, he wasn't usually streaming.
I liked his vibe, and he did a lot of like non-traditional Tarkov stuff. Like in Tarkov, as you know, but the listeners might not. If you bring in better gear, it's easier to win gunfights, but the risk is higher. He would win gunfights that you'd think he should have lost. Bring in terrible pistols with PKA armor, which is a low-grade armor that most bullets go through, and he just shred with gear that you'd think he would lose in. And I thought that was neat content. Whereas Landmark usually came in juiced and then would beat everybody. He's doing incredible things, but like it's incredible, but he also came prepared for that fight where, zero to hero runs that Pastilli did was a different kind of content I enjoyed.
Yeah. I see both sides of it for sure. I wonder what the Tarkov devs are working on now, because I think the game went 1.0, which I would imagine means they're mostly cutting ties with it. I thought they had a new project on the horizon that was maybe another extraction shooter. Because I like that aesthetic and that style. Like I like the grounded in the real world style, and I even like that they used a lot more Russian gear than they did NATO gear.
They have a sci-fi apocalypse game coming out, and I'm trying to remember what the scoop was.
I'm here for that.
I don't want to take too long looking it up, but
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, they have a sci-fi apocalypse game coming out. That sounds kind of neat.